just like our favorite tips and tricks as far as, developing your content. Google always messes me up with this. All right, so again, we just want to go over the objectives of today to make sure that we're, staying on point. So we want to understand the value and purpose of social media content, develop a better understanding of how to excel and become consistent with social media posting and engagements, and how to properly engage on social media to grow your platform. This is a topic we visited a while back. It's been a while, so we thought a refresher would be good. And then what are your goals? You always want to set your own goals for these meetings so, you can ensure that you come out of it with something. And so maybe that would be understanding the algorithm of social media, kind of what makes it tick, and how to really maximize the opportunity you have on social media without paying for it. You might want to create a customized content calendar or gain more followers. You might want to just have a simple goal of using social media more than you currently are. So first, we want to talk about your audience. And so this is a big part of developing your social media plan. And it's kind of just the center of everything you're going to want to do on social media. And the reason we say that is because, especially in real estate, everybody's audience is different. Now, baseline, we're all targeting home buyers or home sellers. So yes, we are all targeting that same demographic. However, the age, the range, the gender, all those different things, as well as what your friends that are following you like, is totally different. So you want to really sit down and like take a look at who your audience is. If you're 30, your audience is probably going to be in that maybe 30, maybe max would be 40, minimum would be 25 range. So, now if you're 60, your age range would be totally different. So it really just depends on who the people are who you're trying to target. And so when you think about the people that you're presenting your content to, you want to think about really what they want to see. So you want to create content based off of what your audience wants, opposed to what you think they need to know. So I think a lot of us get caught up in the real estate hamster wheel, and we see other realtors posting, all different kinds of stuff. Maybe it's just the basic, gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Making matters current. I think that's the right one. I see that a lot, and that's not necessarily bad. But I see just the baseline business posts with links and blogs and stuff like that. I always try to explain to everyone that you want to reverse it. So yes, a good amount of our audience is realtors. That's your friends, that's your industry, that's the world you live in. But you're not trying to reach them. And so this is where you can really break it down and look at who your target audience is. And so when you do that, you'll see that, you're not trying to appeal or be in the same hamster wheel as all the other realtors. You're trying to appeal to your specific sphere, and everybody's sphere is different because everybody's different. So you want to create your content based off of that and really put some thought into making the content that you are posting consistent. So you want to do it consistently, but you also want to do it with a purpose. Don't just post to post. So another good point with that is going to be determining and strategizing which platforms are you're currently on and which ones you'd like to start using, which ones you're totally like, absolutely not, I have no desire, which ones your sphere is on. If you have like 3 people in your life that that are on TikTok, I mean, I wouldn't be I don't want to say wasting. I wouldn't be spending a lot of my time trying to, become TikTok famous through this. So go where your audience is, go where your sphere is, and really hone into who you want to target. And create your content based off that. Don't get wrapped up in the real estate hamster wheel. Um, and I think my biggest advice on this way of retraining your brain is to think and put yourself in a totally different industry. So I think my favorite one I always like to say is, so if you're an engineer and you're posting articles about the Empire State Building and the structural integrity and the joists that I mean, I'm surprised I even know these words, but that it uses to build that, I don't think the average person is going to click on that blog link or really have any interest in that. Just like most people aren't really interested in, the real estate industry of how it's been going for the past 10 years. Now, are they interested in the market and the stats on that? Absolutely. That's a great way to draw in people to see where they're at, as far as how advanced into the buying or selling process they're ready to start, where they're at on that journey. But again, you don't want to just post, anything that's real estate based. You want to stay authentic to who you are and really give your audience something of value, not necessarily just something as filler content. All right. So another thing that will really help you with this and strategizing with your content is tracking your statistics. And so tracking your statistics is going to allow you to plan better in your future content. And so I can honestly say this was a huge piece of our marketing development plan when I first started here, because I was fresh out of just marketing, no real estate experience. And so it was a lot of trial and error and tracking and looking back at what worked and what really didn't. And then from there, you can continue to move forward and hone in on creating your content specifically to what the people you're getting in front of are engaging with. So all Facebook business accounts and Instagram business accounts have the ability to view how well that your content is doing. And then you're going to want to establish which metrics in those areas you want to approve on and align with your business's brand. So a lot of that also can be done through personal and tagging your business account or posting it on your business and sharing it to your personal. I know it takes time to really get everyone from your personal over to your business and liked that page. But again, it is possible. And if that's not something you want to really focus on, you want to keep posting to your personal, that's completely fine. You're not going to be able to see the exact metrics, but you can track comments, likes, engagements, people who are continually interacting, and what exactly they're saying and you're seeing that they like. So I will also show you guys how we personally, for RMA, how we track those stats, and we'll also send out a copy of that if you guys are interested in having a copy for tracking your own statistics as far as content. All right, so we're going to kind of dive into some things within the statistics categories and what they mean and why they're important and why we want to watch those from the business accounts. So your reach. So that's the number of unique users that your post reaches outside of your usual followers. So that's a big one. And a big way to get that done is by having other people share. And so basically your reach is the amount of people that you got in front of that either haven't been seeing your posts lately, but are friends with you, who are not friends with you, but you have a mutual friend who shared it or commented on it, or people who honestly have no idea who you are, but your post is doing so well that it is coming up that other people have commented on. So the reach is huge because that's how you get more and more visibility in front of people you might not have ever been in contact with. And then the next one is your engagement, which we use that word a ton. It's literally just, it's the number of social interactions divided by the number of impressions. So this shows how, and an impression is, it's all these lingos. I talk as if they're so, like everybody talks in this language. So I'll break this down. So the social interactions can be a like, a comment, clicking on it, just staying on your post for more than 5 seconds. All these things make up the algorithm. And these are things that Facebook and Instagram, owned by the same company, they track all of this. So they track exactly how long someone is viewing your post. And that also is going to add to the algorithm to help boost your post higher up, which means more people are going to see it. And so this shows you how you're perceived by your audience and how willing they are to engage with your content. So having people share, comment, like, even just using like the heart when you go to like something instead of just a like actually weighs more in the algorithm than it does using just a like. So that's always a good thing to do, is use the other different features in that on Facebook. Instagram, it's just the heart feature. So yeah, so this will show how you're perceived with your audience and how willing your audience is to engage with you. So a big thing you're always going to want to do is respond to comments. And the reason I say that is because every time that someone comments on your post, or just a comment, doesn't matter if it's you, them, someone completely random, it's going to take that back up to the top of your timeline. And the reason that it's going to take it back up to the top of the timeline is because they commented. So when you reply, it also takes it back up to the top of people's timeline feed, meaning more people are going to be able to see that and have the opportunity to like and comment. All right, so then there's clicks, which is the number of times that people click on your content. A lot of times this is tracked through ads, more so than any other feature. And then there's the hashtag performance. If you're familiar with hashtags, so just like an account, people can also follow hashtags. So maybe hashtag is Maryland Realtors. And so people can follow that. And if you tag one of your posts as hashtag Maryland Realtors, and then someone follows that, it might pop up on their timeline because they're following that hashtag. So you definitely want to find ones that are doing a good performance rate. And so you can also track those stats as well. All right. So now we're going to dive into creating unique and engaging content. And so one of the main tips we always give is just staying authentic to who you are. And the reason we say that is because these people are your friends on social media for a reason. They like you for you. You want to give them exactly who you are as a person without shoving real estate down their throat, if that makes sense. So you kind of want to be yourself and filter in the real estate as it's, your career, and you don't want people to forget I'm in real estate, but you also want to make sure that you're not, losing followers because you're just posting real estate. So you want to always respond to comments again, which we just went over because those heavily weigh in. And then you're going to want to create content that is geared towards drawing in your target audience and add in trending content, to stay relevant. And so the reason you want to stay up to date on the trends is they tend to do well and reach a lot more people as well. All right, so that is kind of just a quick little overview on some social media stuff. And then of course, as Yanni and I always say, please always feel free to reach out and set up a meeting, as a lot of our agents need that one-on-one plan that is specific to who your friends are, what you like, and how to make that work a lot better for you personally, instead of just a streamlined marketing plan. So with that being said, I know we don't have a super high attendance today, but does anyone have any questions?
Hey, Megan, is there any benefit to, let's say that Kathy Zimmer posts a listing and I share it, is there any benefit to me commenting with that share to either her or me? Okay.
Yes. So a lot of times, and you'll see it, like you'll notice these things as you start going through Facebook as well. So what that does, so if you just share it, you'll see almost like a stack of people who shared it. So it would say like Terry Healy, and then it would say shared Kathy Zimmer. It would say Kathy Zimmer, whatever she posted. And then it might say, if I shared it too, it might then say my name and then Kathy shared, Kathy's post, but it's not always going to give you all of the details, of that full post. But when you add a comment, it separates you out of that pool of just it being shared. I think also adding your own kind of opinion and why you shared it is important for it to be something of valuable content to your own page as well. So, you don't just want to always be sharing other people's stuff. It's totally fine if you do that. You just want to add something that's kind of like a call to action. So it might be, hypothetically, a home Kathy was selling. If you just share it, not going to help so much, but add your personality to it. Terry's got a great sense of dry humor, so he might be like, wow, bathtub of my dreams, but it might be a really terrible picture of the bathtub or something. No, I'm just kidding. Don't share that kind of stuff. But it might be something along the lines where Terry, might share it and write something about, the Ravens games parties that he could host in that backyard, or something specific about the property, but always in a positive light. I was totally joking about the bathtub. But yeah, so you want to add your own flair and your opinion on it, in a positive way.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? No? All right, well, I'm going to turn it over to Bill and let him give a little bit of an introduction of himself.
Well, thanks, Megan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Very happy to be on these. And Terry, I know I haven't seen you in quite some time, but you look great, my friend. So look forward to hopefully partnering up with you on some of these deals as well. Really thankful to have this opportunity to be a part of these RE/MAX Advantage offices and attend events and really become a part of the success that all these offices have. And I'm a huge proponent of education. So I think what you guys provide is different than many other real estate brokerages that I've been a part of. And I think it's of huge importance, especially to the newer agents who really look for our guidance in opening up doors for them. So, I mean, my name's Bill Daly with Liberty Title. I've been doing this about 25 years. Um, and Yanni and I came into contact from the Remax Advantage in Fells Point, and just, hit it off. And, he said, I really like what you're doing with a lot of the people down here. We'd love to offer that opportunity to some of the other branches. And I said, I'd love that opportunity as well. So that's where we got started. Liberty Title as a whole is in every different state. So we're actually owned by an underwriter called Chicago Title, who's the largest underwriter in the country, which allows us to do closings anywhere, which is great. Again, I've been doing this for 25 years, so there isn't too much that I haven't seen. There's always some new things that come across, which is always fun, but you navigate through that. What I always like to stress to people, especially with new agents, and I do it actually with my sales staff as well, is, when a buyer or seller is choosing an agent to either list their house or to buy a house through, they're going to ask you, what separates you from your competition? And as a new agent, you better have that answer, and you better have it relatively quickly. Because otherwise, why is, myself, let's say, as a projected buyer or seller, why would I want to go through you if you don't know what separates you from your competition? And, I always ask people when I sit down with them one-on-one, what is that for you? And too often I see the blank stare of, well, I don't know. I'll work hard for you, or, I'll sell my service. But that's very difficult as a buyer or seller, to sell somebody on service when they don't know you, or they don't know what you've been doing. So I always say to people, find that difference, because I'm going to want to know, if I'm selecting you as my agent to buy a very expensive house and to spend all this money, I want to know that I'm in good hands and I picked the right person. So, an example for me as a title company, what I've come up with is I like to have fun. Real estate as a whole, and especially real estate closings, for the most part, it's pretty damn boring. So I always like to tell people I like to have fun in my settlements. Inevitably, people are going to be nervous. You're spending an awful lot of money, and whether it's your first home or your third home, it's my job to kind of disarm you at settlement and make sure that the nerves and the shaking hands go away, and that we're actually having some fun, some dialogue. Make sure you're laughing. That's the service that I provide. And I think that's different from a lot of other title companies who may sit at the table and just say, sign here, sign here, sign here. I'm going to interact with you. I'm going to ask you about your job, where you're from, when are you moving, things like that, to kind of make this more of a conversation piece and get you laughing at settlement. Because to me, that's what provides, the benefit to the agent. I mean, so much of our business is referral based. And if you leave that settlement table saying, wow, I really had a good time, we laughed, that guy was funny, you're going to remember that, and you're going to use, that agent again. And that's my goal, is to get them to use you again and again and again. And if that's the case, then, I've done my job, and truthfully, we both win on this. So, that's my one thing I think that separates me from the competition is I like to have fun. I'm going to try to make you laugh. I'm going to make this a memorable settlement so that, you send more future deals back to the agent. One of the other things I've come across, agents a lot of times like to give gifts at settlement. That's awesome. That's great. Pick a gift that they're going to remember. Find something unique that not everybody is doing. That I think is of importance. I mean, I've had one person in the past, he would give a cake, and on that cake was a picture of the house that they're buying. And I remember how cool that was, and the buyers love it. Like, they come into settlement like, oh my God, this is the house I'm buying on a cake. I mean, they're hesitant to eat it because it looks so nice, but I thought, well, that's a unique touch. People remember that. And that's really what you want, is to be remembered for what you're doing. So, as far as the gifts go, just find something that's unique that, is going to work. And I do remember in my course of doing closings coming across a realtor, and I remember he had an admin fee that was like $795, $800, $900, something like that. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, this is expensive. I can't believe people are actually paying this. Well, then after the settlement, I reached out and asked. I said, your admin fee is way out of line. How do you guys do that? And he said to me, well, look at the services that I'm providing on the back end. So they provided a moving van for them. They provided, probably the Cutco knives or something like that, which are nice, a cutting board. But the biggest thing that I remember was having a party, a catered party at the house for 10 of their friends or family members. And I thought, all right, well, that's kind of cool. And in my head, I started thinking, well, that catered event that you're doing at their house, that's 10 prospective clients there for you. So you're going to leave that party with 10 new contacts to input into your phone, your CRM, something like that, as a potential target down the road. And it probably cost you a couple $100 to get it catered. So I thought, well, that's a really good idea. I'm always a big proponent of doing any open houses, whether it's a broker's open or a prospective open house on the weekend for potential business. So if you have a listing agent who has a house and you ask them, hey, do you mind if I come and try to pick up some buyers? I think they're great. And then client events, when you start to build up your book of business and you start to get clients, having in the beginning, maybe a semi-annual client appreciation party, I think they're great. One of the recommendations I have there, when you do the client appreciation, definitely pick a fun venue. I know that things we've done in the past, Baltimore will soon have the Topgolf. That's always a fun one. We've done, brewery tours or winery tours. We've done client events at the Autobahn, the go-kart racing things. The axe throwing bars are always fun and unique. You want to pick an event, again, that people are going to remember. Because as I said before, that's what you want, is people to remember you. So pick an event that's, fun, unique, that people will then go tell their friends and post it on social media. As Megan mentioned, the Facebook, the Instagram, it's a lot more important than when I did this, 20 years ago, especially when you're targeting the first-time homebuyers who, communicate more on social media than they do picking up the phone to call. So, those are some things that I've done. And then if you do a client appreciation event, bring your iPad or your laptop with you. And while people are there, have them write a review for you. I figure they're probably at your event eating, drinking, and playing on your dime. The least you can do is have them write a review for you that you can then post to your Facebook or your social media, or in some cases, Zillow. Because if you do use Zillow for your leads, the more people write a review for you, the higher your Zillow score or whatever it's called goes. And, hopefully the more Zillow leads you can get, or your presence on Zillow is then augmented. Those are some of the things that I've seen, especially for newer agents, to really boost their business or increase things. And then, the only other advice I have, and I've told my salespeople, is as you're doing this as a career, your networking will boost the number of people you meet. Make sure you're leveraging that. So calling the people in your cell phone and saying, hey, do you know of anybody that would buy a house in the next 5 years that you can give me? And also be kind of a warm lead. Or using a financial advisor, same thing. If you have one, they're typically making money off of you. It's only fair you should make money off of them too. So say to them, hey, you may hear that somebody's in the market to buy a house or sell a house, based on their finances. Can you mind throwing me a name or throwing me in the mix? Make sure you're reaching out to your contacts to ask them to help you, because then you're really spreading your network. So again, just so much of our business is about asking for it, and you have to make sure that you're really doing that. So, that's my advice as far as always looking, developing, your network. And I think that's where it's all about. You guys have amazing leadership there at Remax Advantage. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the classes and, get out there and network as much as you can.
Absolutely. Well, that was some great advice, and we definitely appreciate you coming on today and giving us a little bit of insight as well as some of your tips and tricks for how agents can really get out there and network. So we're really excited to start working with you, and we know that your services to our agents are just, like always, going to be great. So does anyone have any questions for Bill or any questions for me?
Just a quick plug for Bill. Known him for years. Haven't used him lately because I don't really have control of the title company choice. But when I was doing a lot of refis back in 2008 and before that, we did quite a bit of business together and never let me down.
Thanks, Terry. And we feel the same way about you. I know when I saw your Motto mortgage card, I smiled and I said, you got a good one. I'm really looking forward to reconnecting with you and, sharing some funny stories from old.
All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, we will end there. But again, always feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm sure that Bill as well is always open to questions, or Terry if you need some advice with mortgage loans. But again, the digital marketing team, Yanni, Kathy, and myself, we're always here to help you guys. And if you have any questions or concerns or just want to set up a meeting to get yourself on track as we are headed towards the end of the year, and making plans for next year is not a bad idea. So feel free to reach out and just let us know if there's anything we can assist you guys with.
And Megan, I did want to remind some of your crew too, this weekend, there is a Fells Point festival party at the Remax in Fells Point. I did get suckered into slinging orange crushes. So if anybody is interested, it's a party in the parking lot of the Remax Advantage office in Fells Point. They do have really good live music that they're putting on. I want to say it goes from 11 to kind of whenever. I don't know that was really a stop time, but if you get a chance, come down. It's really a good event, fun event. Great to meet other agents at your brokerage. The music's always good. And I gotta say, I make a pretty decent orange, grapefruit, or watermelon crush, if that is your interest. So.
Sounds yummy. I went last year. It was great. It was a lot of fun. All of Baltimore, people all over the place, tons of stuff to do. So,
Yep.
All right.
Thank you so much, Megan.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Take care, guys.